We have been lied to. We have been sold a bill of goods as it relates to love. And this is a problem because we've bought into the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. And so when we say love, a lot of times, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about this Greco-Roman myth that has at the center Cupid. And Cupid, this little cherub, shoots you with his arrow. And when he shoots you with his arrow, there is this overwhelming passion that comes upon you. And you begin to say strange things like, this thing is bigger than both of us. You have to say it just like that too, or it just doesn't work, you know. Or another one, this is one of my favorite. We don't choose who we fall in love with. Help you. And this one here, I don't understand this one, but I love it. It just sounds so cool. The heart wants what it wants. I have no idea what that means. But this is what we believe about love. And this is part of our problem. That even in church, we believe this about love. That, that there's some overwhelming force will strike you. And when this overwhelming force strikes you, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to be drawn along by this overwhelming force and do what it tells you to do. And we use phrases like, follow your heart. You know what the Bible says about the heart? It's wicked and not to be trusted. The Bible says, don't follow your heart. That's the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. And so when we believe in that myth, we've got several problems. Here's problem number one that we have with the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. If that's what love is, if it's just this overwhelming force, and if the heart just wants what it wants, and if it's uncontrollable, and if we don't choose who we fall in love with, and if this thing is bigger than both of us, if that's true, then no marriage is safe. If that's true. Think about it. I mean, what if tomorrow I sit down on an airplane and there's just a woman who sits next to me on the airplane, and it's just this beautiful woman who just wants me? That wasn't supposed to be funny. That can happen. I'm going to talk to this side of the room over here. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there on the plane, and there's this woman there, and she's beautiful, and she wants me. And all of a sudden, Cupid strikes me. And this thing is bigger than both of us. And we don't choose who we fall in love with. And the heart wants what it wants. Do you follow me? If that's what love is, my marriage is not safe. Come to think of it, what if it happens to my wife? There could be a message on my phone right now. Baby, you probably need to stay in Atlanta because I met somebody, and this thing is bigger than both of us. And we don't choose who we fall in love with. And the heart wants what it wants. You see the problem there? We've bought the lie of the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. And because of that, there are a lot of you in this room who are terrified of marriage because you know how fickle that kind of love is. That's why we had to create another idea to go along with it. The idea of the one. And so what we do is we bounce from one Greco-Roman pagan relationship to another, being overwhelmed by this force, hoping that this time we finally found the one. Because when you find that person, then all of a sudden the cycle ends. That is ridiculous. It's absolutely ludicrous, not to mention the fact that it's grossly unbiblical. That has no biblical merit whatsoever. If we buy into the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love, we are hopeless. And we will never, ever feel secure enough to get married to anybody. Here's the other problem with this idea of the one. You can never know it objectively. And so all of a sudden, a year into your marriage, things get difficult because living with another person is difficult, especially for us men, because y'all ain't right. I thought I understood women, and I married one. Then we gave birth to one. No more women in my house. All of a sudden, a year into it, difficulty comes. Pressure comes. All of a sudden, children come into the family, and you go weeks, if not months, without a good night's sleep. You don't feel so romantic anymore. And if you've bought into the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love and this concept of the one, your immediate thought is, I must have married the wrong one. Because you have this completely idealized, unbiblical view of what love is. So the moment you don't feel this overwhelming chemical reaction anymore, your immediate thought is, must be the wrong one. Because you can never know objectively. Because there's no, people aren't walking around with numbers on their forehead so that you can match your number to another person's number. And see, it just doesn't exist. It doesn't work that way. There is no objective way for you to ever No. So we got two problems with the Greco-Roman myth. Problem number one is this idea that no marriage is ever secure if that's what love really is. Problem number two is that you're never going to know if you found the one, if that's what love really is. Here's problem number three. That kind of love is not transferable. That's why you get a lot of people, they get married and all of a sudden they get pregnant. And I hear this all the time. They're afraid. What if, because we love each other so much, are we going to have enough love for this baby? And then they get pregnant with baby number two. And they go, well, we love one another and this baby so much. Are we going to love the next baby? What if the next baby come and Cupid doesn't strike us the same way he struck us for the other baby? See, the Greco-Roman myth doesn't work because it's not transferable. By the way, if you believe in this Greco-Roman myth of romantic love, and you believe that love is about this overwhelming feeling, that explains why a lot of times you wonder if God still loves you, because you don't feel the same way about God that you did last month, and so there must be something wrong with God, or there must be something wrong with you. All because we bought the lie, the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love, this overwhelming force. That's not what love is.